What ethnicity do you identify yourself as?
Um, Kind of a tough question. I mean, I identify myself more as man. I mean, I think I still identify myself as Hmong.
Okay, and why?
I think it's because of the culture that I grew up in. I grew up around it. Even though I'm American, that doesn't mean I should, lose who I am or where I came from, where my parents came from. I think it's always good to remember your past, so you always know where you're going.
Okay. What ethnicity do you think that other people identify you as?
Um, they would consider me Hmong, Asian. 'Cause the first question they always ask me is, "Where are you from?" You know.
Okay. How does that make you feel like that they...
It doesn't really offend me actually. It makes me really proud of who I am um, and my ethnicity. Yeah, it doesn't really hurt me one bit.
Okay. Um, where were you born?
I was born here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay. Um, have you had any challenges growing up here in Milwaukee?
Oh yeah, yes, I did. A lot of it was maybe being racist, looked down upon.
What challenges do you still face today?
Mm, Not a lot as much as I was when I was growing up. I think growing up you didn't know much. Your parents didn't expose you to the outside world as much. But when you got out there and got to know other people and socialize with other people, I think it made it a lot easier.
Okay. What successes have you had while growing up in the United States?
Um, Education. My parents never had an education when they lived in their old country, so I consider that part of a success, and also joining the Marine Corps.
Okay. um, do you feel that these challenges and successes have shaped your identity?
Yes, it did. Totally, it did. It made me who I am today. I see things a lot differently now. Um, I learned, growing up, I learned how to, what it's like to be an American and to have pride in being American and just and remember who you are always.
Um, what are your hopes for the Hmong and other Hmong Americans that are living in the U.S.?
My hope for Hmong people, I think, is to respect each other a lot more, love each other a lot more. And I think above all else, I think um, to believe in Jesus.
Okay. Um, have you ever returned to Thailand or Laos or refugee camps or anything?
No, I have never been.
Do you plan to go over there?
Yes, I do. I do plan. We were thinking about going next year.
Okay. Do you think that returning or going to those areas, like your people's homeland, would alter how you identify yourself in any way?
Oh yes, most definitely. I think it would because it makes me wonder what if I was born over there. I wonder how I would have reacted and who my friends would have been like and just everything about it. I think it made me feel like made me feel the struggles my parents went through.
So, what ethnicity do you identify yourself as?
Hmong and Hmong American as well.
Okay, why?
Why? Well, first of all, I say Hmong because I have a self-pride of who I am as a Hmong person. And I say Hmong American because I grew up here, so I also take pride in that as well. And I also see myself as kind of American too because I like to speak English a lot too, so that's probably why.
Okay. What ethnicity do you feel others identify you as?
Chinese. Well, most people don't really know about Hmong people until just not too long, about 10 years ago. You know, Hmong people were not really well known. You know, everybody just think of us as Chinese people. So
Right.
other people probably identify me as Chinese.
How does that make you feel?
How does that make me feel? It depends how they say it.
Oh.
If they, it depends how they say it. If it's derogatory how they say it, then you know I feel offended. You know, but if they say it in a way to where they're inquiring, see, you know, if I am Chinese, you know, then no, I'm not offended.
Okay. Where were you born?
I was born in a town called Vinai, or Hmong people call Vinai. That's in Thailand.
Like Bandunai.
Yeah, it's I think, the actual city that is actually on the map is called Pakcham.
Okay. Was it in the refugee camp?
Yeah.
Okay. What challenges have you faced while transitioning and growing up in the U.S.?
Oh my God, I love this question. Are you getting robbed while you're doing this?
Yeah, I know.
She didn't pay us yet, man.
Nosy.
Okay. What challenges? Well, I faced when we first came to America here. The hardest thing was racism. There was a lot of racism, and I think the reason why it was so hard upon me as well, or us, you know, me and my brothers and stuff, not calling them, but then just the ones that came over there, is because, you know, we never seen racism before. We didn't even know racism exists. So to see it happen from kids and adults. Now, we were just kids. I was only like 8 years old when we came here. And to see even grown adults, you know, with just bad words towards us, you know, just really racist stuff towards us. It was really hard. Especially when my parents had so much respect for America, you know, and he said so much good things about this country and the people here. You know, they're smart, they're kind, and that's why they're so successful. And then we get here, and then you see, like, yeah, I mean, this country is very successful, but at the same time, the people are so racist here. You know, it's so that was really challenging growing up. And then also another challenging thing was, you know, fashion was kind of big here. It's always kind of been in a way, I think. You know, we grew up and we just wear whatever that we can. You know, we were really poor. So we sometimes, I mean, I still remember I had like colorful pink shorts on, you know, and, you know, so, but to me, I just think if I have the clothes on, I thought I was good, you know what I mean? Because where I come from, people, we were so poor that most people didn't have clothes, you know, and if you had some clothes, it was passed down from your older brother to you, you know what I mean? So, that's the environment I grew up in, and to come here, and then to see that even though you do have clothes, even though it's handed down to you from, like, let's say, donations, you know, people were looking down on me or my family a lot because of that. So that was also something that was very challenging as well.
Okay. What challenges do you still face today?
Oh man, that I would probably face for the rest of my life. No, I probably just had to get used to it. I think the challenge that faced me so today, and this is honestly right, is I think my stature, right? I'm not really tall, so you know, like whenever I go places, you know, you feel so out of place. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, you feel so out of place. You're like, damn, everybody's so big here. And then, you know, when they're so big, it's not that they have respect for shorter people too, you know? They kind of look down on shorter people, right? I mean, a lot of taller people, they kind of look down upon shorter people. So, you know, they make you feel even more comfortable, you know what I mean? And so that's a challenge even at this age, that sometimes I still could feel like, damn, like, it's hard being short sometimes.
Okay. What successes have you had while growing up in the U.S.?
What successes? Wow. Let me see. Okay, well, when I was younger, I had a lot of success with girls. Uh, what success as well? I would say that um, overcoming the barrier of speaking English, because that was really hard too. So I would also call that a success. Coming from different country to this country, you know, because there's still a lot of people that's like my age, you know, that has really that broken English, you know. So to kind of overcome that, I'm probably not really fluent in English, you know, but I think I made a lot of success in that as well. Um, I think another success for me is being able to socialize with Americanized people. You know, like before it was hard to do that. You know, I wasn't really good at socializing with American people. I was good at socializing with Hmong people, but not with American people. You know, I've always thought that you guys socialize different. You know, like if you gotta talk to them, you gotta be probably really smart. You know, or you gotta speak in a certain way.
Like
I've always thought
formal or something.
yeah, you know, it's just something different. You know, and then so I think overcoming that, that's also a success.
Okay. Do you feel that these challenges and successes have shaped your identity?
I think to a certain degree, not totally, because I'm kind of a strong-willed-minded person too. You know, so like, you know, like for me to overcome what I would say like certain challenges and stuff like that is I say a certain degree because you know it's just like a learning process to me, you know, and I just kind of look at it like that's just all part of life, you know. But within who I am, you know, I always feel like you know like what my parents instilled within me when I was a child, and then I think that's like the part that's always gonna be with me. And I think that my environment, you know, it does kind of shape me in a way. But when I think that I think it's more about adaptation, and then at the same time, you know, it's because you could, you know, in life you grow up with a lot of, you realize that there's a lot of hate as well, you know what I mean? But there's also a lot of love, you know what I mean? So when you if you're a kind of strong-minded person, or you like to live and learn, you will realize that hey, you know what, this is just part of life. And I will not allow that to change me. You know what I'm saying? But I will try to grow from that. You know, to be just only better.
Right.
So.
Okay. What are your hopes for the Hmong and Hmong Americans that are living in the U.S.?
What are my hopes for the Hmong Americans living in the West? Living in the West?
U.S.
Oh, my bad. In the U.S. What are my hopes for them? Well, my hopes for them is this. Probably will never be. Is okay. Hmong people have a certain way of how we respect each other. You know, like back in the old country where my parents are from, like Thailand and Laos. Well, I'm from Thailand and then my parents are from Laos. You know, is I really like to think how, like my last name is a her, right? I could go to a totally far away place, you know what I mean? And as long as, and I don't even know anybody over there. Let's say I'm over there to go talk to a girl, right? But I don't need to know anybody over there. As long as I get over there, and if I need a place to stay, you know, I could go ask them, hey, is there any her families here? And they're in our Hmong people, there's only 18 last names, so pretty much there's hers everywhere. You know what I mean? As long as there's Hmong people living there. So if they're like, yeah, there's some Hmong family that's living over here, blah, blah, whatever. Now I'm like, okay, cool. And I could just go to those Hmong families that's hers, same last name as I do. We call it clans, right? And then I'll be like, hey, you know, I'm also her. I came from around this village, and they'll, you know what I mean? They'll give me a hospitality. You know what I mean? And you can't do that here in America no more.
Right.
You go knocking doors, they're like, man, you better get out of there. I'm calling cops on your ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, it's like that. And to see back how it was, it's really touching. And it's love, and it's like a community thing, you know what I mean? And it's like one man help another, you know, it's just like another human person help another human person, you know? and you don't see that kind of love anymore. That's you know that warmth, you know. So I think my hope would be if that were to ever happen again, I think that'd be awesome, you know, because there's not a lot of us, and we don't have a country, so
Right. To have that connection.
yeah, to have that connection again like that.
Have you ever returned to Thailand?
In my mind, yes.
Do you plan to ever go back?
I plan to, you know, I plan to, but that's a plan. That's it still remains as a plan.
Do you think that returning to to Thailand would alter how you identify yourself?
No, I don't think it alter how I identify myself. But I think that I think returning there would be, you know, it's to me it's just more like going back to see a place where I was born, to see how, you know, how my people still live there, how they still, you know, how they're living like and stuff like that, you know, and then I think just, I don't know, I guess it's just to be an environment to where, you know, like over here you see, like, you don't really see Hmong people a lot, you know what I'm saying, where living in one house there and far away another house there, so you don't really get to see Hmong people like that. But I think to be in an environment where you see pretty much mostly Hmong people, you know what I mean, to be immersed in that again, you know, I think it'd be a good feeling, you know. So.
Okay. So what ethnicity do you identify yourself as?
ก็สารก็ยังหายในอาชี
we had a Hmong block.
She identified herself as Hmong Lao.
Okay.
And
is that green or white or striped?
no, Hmong Lao is because she was born in the country Laos.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So nationality Laos,
Oh,
but
okay.
but who she is she's Hmong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As a person, you know, culture and stuff like that. She's Hmong, but she's born in the country Laos, so she can consider herself as a Hmong Lao.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Just
like Kona would be considered Hmong American. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're born in America. You know,
Right.
Just like that.
Okay. So the reason why then would be because of being born in Laos, right?
Right.
Okay. What ethnicity do you feel others identify you as?
ก็สารแต่ในหายหนึ่งพวกสารก็ยังหนึ่งอาชีพ พ่อปู่ก็ยังหนึ่งอาชีพก็
มันชาพ่อแต่กูยังHmong block มันชาพ่อแต่กูยังสัว
Oh, okay. So she said that some people know that she's Hmong, but you know, then there's also people that think that she's Chinese as well.
Okay. How does that make you feel?
As
Like that other
the Chinese
people,
part?
yeah.
Okay. ถ้าคุยต้นในสารก็ยังชัวร์นะแล้วก็สารตอนในจ้าสิ
กูสาเต้ยันเนี่ยกูตัวยันถึงมันจะท่องเลยนะเพราะจำมกูเลยหอ
You said maybe it's my personality or my looks. That's probably why they said that.
หากูจะปล้าหัวรองหอหากูจะมุมมันจะถือปู
And my hair, my looks. That's probably why they think I'm Chinese.
Okay. What challenges have you faced while coming to the U.S. and living here?
อาชีพเนี่ยไอ้ข้อกุญแจเนี่ยเราก็สู้ตัวสุดท้ายจะไม่กันหรอกตัวเนี่ยได้จะไม่กัน
เขาเนี่ยกูตัวสุดท้ายไม่แก่เนี่ยชากูยังเขากูจะป้าลูกมันชาจะต้องนอน
She said the hardest thing for her is coming to this country, not know how to speak the language was really hard. Because in that way, then it was hard to find a job trying to support yourself.
What challenges do you still face today?
แล้วนู่นนี่เนาะเนี่ยจะมั่วชิ้นยอดเราก็ฮะ
cho nên là nó lấy chỉ nhau cơ của tôi chỉ bao lâu mua chỉ tao hoa lử chỉ tao nhăn nào này nè
แต่ฉันก็ป้อนน้องเนี่ยป้อนน้องแต่เขาก็ห้าผมว่าชิ้นสิฮะปีนี้ตัวอย่างก็ยังได้แค่มีการอะไรนี่เราก็
nhiều tên đỡ tan cho nhiều một con đỡ tao lấy chỉ bao lâu nhiều một tháng nữa con lấy chỉ bao lâu xua giảm nhau của tan cho lên hai lô tết
giờ họ ấy à tôi nên sai tao nhiều là thế họ có bộ đấy họ
nhiều họ cứ tôi xua tết cho nên chỉ bao lâu thì lúc tôi cháu anh nó lo thì yêu này tuổi chỉ bao qua thì lúc chỉ yêu anh nó yêu tới cháu anh bảo cha lớn chỉ yêu tên này là tên nhau rồi tan cho thì sao chỉ muốn lên mà nụ rồi ôi chỉ muốn lên tụ lụa ha bây giờ bây giờ thì mà bây giờ chân đâu là cái nó họ bên chỉ qua rồi ha bên chỉ chơi rồi bên ya cho một本事我都弄得好这呀lúc đấy thì chẳng cầu rất là hành động rất là bên chỉ chơi của nào hậu này hay sống trồng đi là bên chỉ chơi của nào hậu này cái sự đấy thì bắt sinh đón tới thì bên mà họ lại bên chỉ chơi lù chỉ幫đào cái sự bắt đi họ lại bên qua bên chơi cái sự幫thành trai thì chả bên chỉ chơi này thì giờ này đấy thì là đấy chuyện chơi ở là bao hay là tôi tung kinh là bao tại cho nên chân tới bao nhiêu chân tới.
My mom says pretty much still the same thing, you know, because the language, she doesn't understand the language, she doesn't know how to speak it well, so it's very challenging for her to, you know, try to find a job, even though she know how to work. You know, they say that just because you don't know how to speak the English, no, we don't need you because you probably don't know how to work. So that's like the hardest part for her. You know, and she was just going out talking about when she was in Laos and stuff like that, you know. You know, they're like hardworking people, and even though they live in very poor villages or even areas of like more like kind of jungle area, you know, they were always able to provide for themselves. So they always were really good at providing for themselves. But in America here, they're looked down upon as dummies, you know. Just because they don't understand the language.
It's a language barrier.
Yeah, so that's the hard part for her.
Okay. What successes have you had while being in the U.S.?
ก็ตัวที่อเมริกาเนาะก็ปตอแต่มวยตัวอย่างคือก็เกิดโตเลยก็เป้าคือก็ก่อยิ่ง
กูจีเมื่อเขากูเกิดโตแล้วจะขอกูเล่าแล้วกูเกิดที่ตาขอกูเป้าเจลูกเตชเนี่ยลูกเตชกูตัวเป้าว่าจืกูนั่งชาแต่ว่าจืเจ้ากูตัวกูต้นฉันแต่ว่าจืนู่นกูตอนแต่ว่าจืเนาะฮะกูสาตัวแต่กูยังมุ่งเปล่ากูตัวกูเจียบไว้ในจืลูกกู
Okay, Mama said that you know, she don't really have seen any success in herself because it's been really hard upon her. But she's seen that her success is that coming to America here has brought her to come know, you know, Jesus Christ, you know, or God and stuff like that, you know. And so that's the success that she sees that, you know, she has gained while she was here. Because without coming here, she probably never knew, you know, Jesus and stuff like that. That's what she said.
Okay. Was she shaman beforehand? Like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the challenges and successes have shaped your identity in any ways?
ก็ภาษาแต่อยากก็ก็ยิ่งแหละเขาก็หาแต่ก็ป้อว่าชื่อเขาในตอนหลงก็เลยจ้าเลย
哎呀，你古地有多了么子这，古地妈妈还古地有多，古地只有干了么子这，家到古啥么子路还路就古，但么子路古，这古啥的古到么子那古到么子那么子路古还，古陪古只用了带那什么，古只这真这，古做做那什么么子路的都能做出来古哎，么子这古就么子哈，古到到了带车呢，路带车。mỗi cha cũng chỉ chơi hoa chữ mỗi cha bố có bao hoa chữ ha, em hoa chữ cho cháu tôi cũng tôi có cũng cho tôi bao hoa chữ, ha lúc đấy chờ này lúc đấy chờ, tên nó tên chữ bao một chỗ chạy được không, bố chữ bố ít tuổi phải ít tuổi có cho rồng ha có nô lù là lù cha chỉ tao chỉ cho có, đó chỉ mà để cha chữ bao lù nữa chị, nhưng mà tao té như này因为到底那呀那个，有都只包了，不能得到有不能进来没得给了有都只包路啊。
เขาเนี่ยก็อย่างนี้จุยนะแต่เขาก็ก่อยิ่งอย่างเขาก็แต่อย่างนี้ก็เตาก็ซื้อก็ได้จะเป็นการอย่างแต่คุณน้องก็แต่เนี่ยนอกแต่ก็ต้องจุยแต่อย่างก็ก่อยิ่งนะอย่างอาชีเนี่ยก็แต่ชีมั่วอาชีคือก็ว่าเตาเกิดเตาเราอย่างแต่ชีว่าเขาก็เกิดเตาให้ก็อย่างบ้านเตาก็อย่างเขาก็เตาเป้าวันชีแต่จะเป็นการอย่างจะในชีเป้าแต่เขาก็เป้าเลย นี่trong này cha nó con rồi có chỗ cái sáng một cha lợn nữa còn nó như là hỏi
thì cũng chỗ cái xa thì cũng xa ta tí họ bố tới chờ một bốn trăm vắt chữ của cha tôi bao vắt chữ mà của trong rồi lúc tới chờ nó cho khỏi tên nó tới chữ bố nó chữ là bố lu làm mà biết sẵn ha như này bố cho chữ bao vắt chữ bố nhưng chữ bố họ cho bao vắt chữ là bốn trăm vắt chữ thì rồi giờ bố mua vắt chữ là bố cho học cái gì bố hay lu tôi cho nên cho nhẹ
là xin được con này, bố hạt con mà con mà hạt solo tây sao, bố hạt mà bố không được con sao, bố đợi có chút cái sáng, có chút cái thằng có bao văn chữ nó nên trong có chút cái sáng này chăng là,
ô của bao vắt chữ mà của tôi cái sáng lụt lê hàng lê hả, lụt to một lê hàng hai rồi lêอยู่giờ ta lúc mà dùng lấy tủ lan chè đó thì mua chữ bột kê, bác sĩ chỉ thọ của lụt bao vắt chữ chè nhưอยู่จะกับปุ๋ยตุกแค่อยู่มั่วใช้กำดูซับเลยยังยังหมดซักเลยอ๋อ
yeah, okay. So my mom said that since coming here and her success in knowing God and Jesus is it has changed her way of thinking a lot because it brought more love into her. Not only that, it seemed like her way of thinking is actually deeper. It's more in depth, and so and it also brought more happiness in her life and stuff like that.
Okay. What are your hopes for the Hmong and Hmong Americans that are living in the U.S.?
Có một cái trà sa cho phải chậm hông của nhà tới chậm mình cao đâu. Cái trà sa là cái có bao là có bây giờ mong mọi họ chỉ cứ dùng có sản phẩm tận đây cho là bây giờ mong nó có một cái sản là họ.
Nhưng mua ha rất là mà.
Mua thì giờ chỉ.
เขาจะใช้ชับเลยว่าจืดเสียจะว่าให้อยู่จะมองเรามีการเราไม่ได้ตัวพยังรงเกอฮะกูจะถอยนั่นตัวตื่นเลยมองเราตัวรงยังรงเกอยังจะรู้อยู่มีการเราตัวต้นยังรงพยังเจ้ารง
có chuyện non hả có non tại đời mong có sản phẩm trên đời mong nhất làมีการnói được bao lâu có sản các vùng của cái cha sa trên đời mong hai cái sản phẩm trên đời mong nhà tầm đây cứ chọn mong của nhất làมีการnói nè
thì tầm đây này tôi chỉ tao phụ cho chị cô chỉ bảo tại cha sa lên mọi cha này đó là họ của ít họ của xã tàu này mà của xã nó ha họ của ba người nó mà giờ của baoว่าchủ giờ tôi kể lúa kể nhân dân mà của cha ba nó còn trong của còn tao khăn này anh tao khăn này còn ít con này còn tao khăn này của tao giờ lên đó yeah
còn nên nông có người ta thì có hai con người chơi mua sạch còn nên nông có nè còn nên nông có người ta được có rồi mua có sản phụ còn bên không nhớ tới chỉ mình cả nó nhà tận đây trong này cha
đó là có do mà đó là có của hai này do con đó nên sao có giờอยู่这hai thì là tao taoอยากกินtao khăn này trong đó thì tao ít có tao lì ba này được cái đó giờ lên đó hả mà của phụ ta tuần này là mà mấy cha tuần này bố chỉ bảo chứ mà bây giờ là mong bố chỉ lúc ba cái mà bố chỉ cả đó là của mà của xã taอยู่ที่bảo chứ màอยู่chủ trương chân chânเลยว่าchứ cho chỉ tao rồiเลยว่าchứ màอยู่cái taoเลยอยู่sẽ xã ha có cứว่าchứ xã taอยู่ในnhàอยู่chủ trương cha nhà của cha lúc ba hay lúc rồi nên sẽ của ba tao này khó rồi nên cần ta
có chỉ tao tép họ nên không có họ lại này
con nó đi con ta ham
họ có chỉ cho nè họ có hạt số có tụi khen rồi nữa họ nên nó có đang lúc dậy mua cho chập bé chập mông như thế chập mình cà nó rồi nhà tận đây có sản phụ này có bé chập mông nó cho lấy cha nó cho lấy cha và mua chỉ lấy cha nó bé chập mông nó nữa nè
theo họ của tao phụ á chỉ nè
Go. Okay, my mom said that she don't really have comment on that. But she don't really have comment on that because she don't really see like what the future may be for us Hmong people. But she just on that she just kind of leave it blank, But she said that she hoped that even though she don't know how to say that what she said hopefully could help you out and on your work that you're doing here and stuff like that.
Okay. And have you ever returned to Laos?
Câu bắt đầu cho một tết nhầm lo này.
Tao mong leo.
She haven't.
Do you ever plan to or hope to?
Có bọn ba tại nó có yo mong là có xã tại nó có yo cho cả một sai cái chấm.
Cô xã học cô lúc xa thì cô xã mong á xem anh sẽ chả cô chỉ mà nhà cô lo cô chỉ ta tới chơi nó cũng chỉ tàu nữa xem.
She said she do. She would love to go back to see, you know. But her only thing is that she hopes that she'll be able to save enough money to go back.
Oh, right.
You know, because she's getting older, and she said she's afraid that she may not be able to do it before she passes away. That's what she said.
Okay.
Cho khỏi mà này nhá, tôi chỉ phụ tận đây này yo.
She said, you know, because living, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Mm. Do you think that returning to Laos would like change how you identify yourself?
Có một sản tại giờ cho khám một tới chậm lo nó có một cái tổ khen người ta cấp sở lấy cha, đã có tổ khen.
Một cái chấm nào của phụ ta, pero cái chấm nào nó cái chấm nào cho toàn nhỉ ha. Vì phụ ta như chấm một lẽ đó.
Hắn đã có tổ khen hả?
Hay chơi của tôi khen mà, tôi khen là vì bắt đầu của chơi mà đó khó. Vì cái chấm nào chỉ bé cứ
Cấp sở lấy cha.
chơi khó cứ tôi nhớ cái chấm nào chỉ nhớ nó cái chấm có khử tàu nào chỉ ha có phụ to chỉ có lúc chỉ chờ có một chú có sản phẩm này có chỉ dùng nó chỉ có một chú bố kể cả con trên một giờ bố luôn rồi con trên một chỉ tàu hoặc者nhớ tí chồng mà bố khử chỉ bố nào chỉ tàu thì bố khử chỉ bố lên trên một phó nó.
No, I said that she, you know, like she would just view herself like, you know, if she were to go back. She probably would see herself different, as in, you know, that the people there, because most people there are really poor, and they work really hard, but yet it's still so little to provide for them and their families. So, you know, they're probably age faster and stuff like that, and she would see herself more like, you know, she's more success in that way. That since she's here, she would see that, you know, she has you know, like a healthier look or more of a shine on her, you know what I'm saying? If she were to go and see back where she grew up at, you know, the people that's over there. So she would probably see that difference.
Okay. Yeah. What ethnicity do you identify yourself as?
Hmong.
Why?
Born and raised in a Hmong family. They've been telling I'm Hmong.
Okay. Were you born here in the States or?
I was born in Laos.
Okay. In a village or?
Yes, it's actually in a village.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a rural village to be more exact.
Okay, so it wasn't in a refugee camp?
No.
Okay.
This is before we came to refugee camps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What ethnicity do you feel others identify you as?
Chinese.
And how does that make you feel?
First offended, and later on I understood that all Asians tend to look alike. So I guess Chinese is the most numerous Asian in the world. It's easier to identify Chinese.
Okay. What challenges have you faced while transitioning to or growing up in the United States?
Oh, challenges. I think the first one will be the cultural challenge. It's a whole new culture in the United States. Different language already itself, different way of eating food, different culture of just clothes, wearing clothes, different customs, greetings to talk, socializing, everything's different. And that transition was hard.
When did you come to the United States? At what age?
7 years old.
Okay. Did you know any English when you came?
I think within the first year I picked up no and yes.
Okay. What challenges do you think you still face today?
Maybe the only closest thing is probably just closest is to racism. Yeah.
What successes have you had while transitioning to and growing up in the U.S.?
I would say I was pretty proud that I'm able to read English and speak English.
Mm.
It took very long, and I didn't really have a proper teacher. Even though there were teachers all around and they would try and help me, I think it took me a long time because English was hard for me to structure in my head.
Were there any teachers that spoke English and Hmong to help?
No, there was none.
Okay.
Yeah. So that makes it even more difficult when there's none.
Yeah, definitely. And you were able to go to college while here, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you probably would count that as being a success as well.
That will be accomplishment, yeah.
Yeah.
A success, yeah.
Do you feel these challenges and successes have shaped your identity in any way?
Yeah, it has. I think it made me more confident in myself. That's one. It has helped me understand who I am more and the world around me.
What are your hopes for the Hmong and other Hmong Americans that are living in the U.S.?
My hope is that one is they succeed in what they do without losing their language and culture.
And have you ever returned to Laos?
No, I was told that it's quite dangerous right now. It's one of the lists that on the United States, was it embassy, where they have a list of countries that you avoid. It's on that list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever plan to go there if it seems that it's more safe to do so?
I want to. I want to go back and see what village I was born in, what it looks like, and how I want to know how it has transformed the country itself.
Do you have a lot of memories from growing up there? Or were you
I have
too
some
young?
broken memories, but not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that returning back to Laos at all would alter how you identify yourself or maybe solidify it?
I think it will solidify more for myself.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, when I first came to the United States, the first white person I saw, I was so afraid. Because we had this rumor back in refugee camp was that all Hmong people who goes to the United States, they become processed into food and canned.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they said white people eat Hmong people, and you can eat canned food.
Oh my gosh.
And they said that if you go to the United States, that's going to happen to you. So then I hear that around the whole refugee camps all the time. And then they said that that's why we don't hear back from all these other Hmong people who left. Which is true, we don't hear back from them.
Oh, wow.
But then, so that gave me a lot, you know, I don't have a lot of confidence coming to the United States.
Yeah.
And I came, I first saw the first blue eye, blonde hair. I was so afraid. And then we actually have a term. I think we have a term for them. It's called like nya or something like that. It means like ogre. You know, it's like we consider them the white ogre. Because ogre eats humans, so that's what they were considered, white ogres.
Oh, wow.
So coming to the airport, arriving at the airport, I remember it was so cold. And Thailand was warm. It was warm, it was humid. When you come to the United States, it's freezing cold. And arriving in Milwaukee, it was snowing still. And so and then I started seeing white people around, and I got scared hiding behind my parents.
Were your parents worried at all, or?
They weren't, because they knew that was not true.
Okay.
But they didn't tell me.
Oh. Okay. And so, like, when you flew in from the refugee camp, then you came to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came to like something like maybe San Francisco or somewhere over there, Sacramento, and then flew there from Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a unique experience, and I think I know why. Later on, I learned why people don't respond and contact back to the ones in refugee camp. It's just that their life, when it comes to the United States, they're trying to settle down, and once they settle down, then they learn that they don't need to talk back to people in the refugee camps. They begin to live comfortably here in the United States, and that comfort just, I guess, allowed them to forget what it's like back in Thailand.
Do you think that they want to forget, or like that they want to keep moving on here, or do you think that they miss their homeland and they wish that they could just go back?
Some people, I think the ones that I talk to, they don't care to want to go back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're enjoying the United States, and they don't want to go back. So here in the United States, you have heat, you have cold air in the summer, and heat in the winter. So you're comfortable. You have vehicles you can drive around. Which in Thailand, if you were to have a vehicle, that means you must be close to like a millionaire type of person. And everyone else don't drive. If you're wealthy, then you drive.
Right.
Yeah, but if you're an average home income person, then you just have a bicycle or a motorcycle, but never a car.
Wow.
Yeah, so a car was very just, you had to be prestige to have a vehicle.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So I know that you are Christian now.
Yeah.
And did your parents convert like after coming to the United States, or?
They convert after coming to the United States because the family here, the relatives here were Christians. They came here. They were sponsored by Americans here, and so it was Caucasian Americans. So they're sponsored by Caucasian Americans, and they went to church, and so they took the relatives to go to church, and then so all the relatives went to church, and then when we came, the relatives sponsored us to come. So then they went to church, so they took us to church.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So we follow family in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is not biblical. But I guess it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we converted. My parents were never hardcore shamanists either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did they just kind of live life every day, just not religion being a huge part of it?
My father grew up as a Seventh-day Adventist, but then as he got older and he joined the military, he stopped being religious.
Okay.
So he stopped being a Christian overall. And then my mom came from a shaman family. So her father was a shaman, and her grandparents were shamans too.
Okay.
So she comes from a strong shaman family, and then for her, she did not want to be a shaman. She did not want to get involved in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's odd, though she comes from such a hard shaman family.
You think that she'd want to continue on with it?
She didn't want to, because the whole spiritual side of that, she was so afraid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be kind of scary. I know that there's a lot of, I don't know, just things that sound that they would be scary with the different spirits and
Yeah.
different, not really rules, but taboo things to do.
That's right. I should have invited you to the funeral. I didn't think of that.
Oh.
I mean, you should just come to the funeral. You would see how it is with Hmong funerals.
So that
At least Hmong Christian funerals.
that was a Hmong Christian funeral then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then we have like if it was the Hmong shaman funeral, they operate differently.
Mhm.
But then the only thing that is similar is the 4 days.
Okay.
Yeah, they have 4 days of funeral.
Wow.
So the immediate family or the relatives of the deceased would have to stay at the funeral from whenever it's open all the way till it's closed.
Okay. Do you think that also, like, having, like, the Hmong type of funeral, like, solidifies, like, more of your identity as well?
That's true, yeah, it does. Because it identifies the uniqueness of being Hmong.
Mm.
However, I am rebellious, so
In what ways?
in the future, if I'm facilitating a funeral,
Mhm.
if I get that chance, I would not do the 4 day.
No.
Yeah, that's so exhausting.
Oh.
You wake up like at 7, and you have to be at the funeral by 8, and then it goes all the way till midnight. And
Do
then
you sleep during that time?
you're not supposed to sleep during that time. You sleep after they close by midnight. Then you
Oh.
come home, sleep, and then wake up again next day
Oh,
and do
wow.
that. And if you don't have any duty, your burden's lighter. But if you do have duties, then you're either running around the funeral home, prepping food, or
Oh gosh.
yeah, preparing food, or something like or dealing with guests, and that could be even more exhausting.
Yeah. Do you feel that the roles between the men and women are similar at all, or
No,
no?
they had different
No.
roles. An example is even for funeral, the women would never deal with the meat.
Mm.
The men will do all the chopping, slicing, cutting, and preparing the meat at least.
Okay.
The men then don't do the cooking. The woman does the cooking.
Okay.
Well, they do share an equal weight of burden, but they have different roles in that.
So it follows closer to the Hmong culture then.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that part it does.
Wow.
And then there's a uniqueness in funeral that Hmong people we do, is that when they come and they give you a monetary gift,
Mm.
well, the relatives will have where they thank the person who gives the gift by bowing to them.
Mm.
Yeah, but then that role is only given to men or males,
Oh, okay.
and never to women.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, in essence, actually, all customary situation where there's bowing required, women never have to do it. It's always men.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like almost in every situation.
almost every situation. When wedding comes, women don't really have to bow. It's usually just the men.
Wow. That's interesting.
But then, I think, in other culture, they do it. Like in Chinese and Korean culture, both male and female do the bowing.
Okay.
Yeah. But in Hmong culture, we don't do that. It's usually just the men.